on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Huge damage done with this storm Helene. Wow. And oddly, there's a lot in Florida, it seems, but North Carolina got just beat up by this thing. So super bad. We're going to talk about some of that stuff with Trump. And I will be honest, I have been fascinated with, I think this got shared today, this Georgia election case is actually happening live. I've been watching this. And oh my God, I don't know what it is, but this is fascinating. There is so much about how these systems are not safe, like horrifically not safe. So it's crazy. We'll see how it all plays out in the big picture. But I've been wow, and we'll see if we get some good video out of that. So a lot of crazy stuff to talk about, by the way. And folks, it's the end of September today, which means unfortunately one scary thing. And I don't mean scary because I don't I don't preach fear. I mean, there's nothing to be scared of. Put on your armor of God and you'll be fine. But we're going to go through the October surprise. That starts tomorrow. And it seems like there's already some stuff kind of queued up to start the ball rolling. And it's going to be, I think, a surprise on both sides. I think it's going to be very interesting. Probably one of the coolest Octobers. Well, cool might be a weird word choice, but we'll see. It's going to be one of the most unique Octobers probably in the history of this great nation, I think. We'll see. This should be. If not, it's going to be kind of anticlimactic after everything we've been through. But, you know what? We'll see. Treat the world. Oh, this is just beautiful advice. Great place to start. Donald Trump's words and being filmed from the cockpit of his airplane, which is pretty cool also.
Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward.
It's a story I've always kind of shared for myself personally, and it's powerful to me. But I've never ever accepted anybody telling me other than what I believe I can do. Never. In radio was the big example of that. Had a number of people tell me I was crazy to try to go into it, like it's hard, nobody gets into it, and I didn't care. I didn't care. I mean, for all the manifesting crap that I talk about too, I never cared. It never mattered what all the outside thoughts said. Mattered what I believed in my heart and what I knew to be true and what I knew I was going to create. So I never doubted it. And I think each and every one of us are creating a new world right now. We're doing it together, but we're doing it as individuals as well. That's kind of the weird part. Like each one of us has our own unique responsibility for our own part of this. A new new short was put out by the U.S. Army talking about irregular warfare, and it does seem awfully strange or similar to the Fourth PSYOP group's Ghost in the Machine video. Both kind of cool, but both also, I feel like, emblematically showing this information war, this psycho war, the psychotic from the stand, like psionic, I guess would be a better way to say it, but like for our psyche. From that standpoint, like the war that's being done on us is impressive, and when you're still plugged in, it's powerful. It's very powerful. It's more powerful than like trying to shake someone loose. Like you can't. Still the strangest thing to me, trying to wake people up. I've again, after years of trying, never been able to. Never. I've seen a lot of people wake up. They come to me when they do. And I've been there as they're waking up and they ask questions, but never once have I been able to take someone that's sound asleep and offer facts and wake them. I've not. If you guys, dude, prove me wrong, I hope. Maybe I just suck at it. I hope. Been trying for a long time. Pretty good at some of this shit, but meh. Just seems to happen. It's weird. something that I think I'm going to be on a crusade for a long time. So those of you that know my channel, know me, that's great. Those of you that are new, I'd like to ask you a small favor. A way that you can help the channel. One, thumbs up, please. Subscribe if you haven't. All that's super easy way to help the channel in a big way and help the videos in a big way. But what I would like from a standpoint of you guys helping the big picture, without you having to do anything, without you having to get up off your butt, not even at all. One thing I want you guys to do, and this is a homework assignment I've started to ask for. This is the second time I've asked for it, and I'm going to continue to ask for this leading up to the election because it's extraordinarily important. In fact, past the election, I'm sure. But the homework assignment I have, and this thing I want you all to consider, and I want you guys to expand on it when you've got extra time, but let's start simple. I want you to imagine one thing in your life right now, that could be better. How could it be better? Think of how it could be better. What would better be? What would that seem like in your life? Just think about one thing in your life that could be better. And you can say something simple like more money. That's fine. What does that mean? Think about that. Are you doing something different? Are you finally getting that car? Are you repairing something? Or what could be better? And think about what better is. Think about what that outcome would look like if you could do me that small favor. I don't care if you spend a minute doing it or 5 minutes or an hour, whatever. Hopefully often, frankly. And those of you that know me know why I'm doing this. Those of you that don't, it's a good practice to think about how we can make things better. We're so used to bitching about how things are. We need to learn how to think to make things better. What does that mean? So please, all of you, statistically 5% of you are going to do this, but all of you, please think about how it could be better. And you'd be amazed at what you're going to be doing to make a difference. I wish I could quantify it like factually in front of you. It's one of those things that as you start doing it, you'll notice and it'll prove it to yourself, but you can't prove it to another. It's fun. It's kind of a fun little thing that sucks about it. Paul Sperry posted this: Americans need to be particularly vigilant from October 2nd to October 12th, warns 9/11 whistleblower and FAA security agent Brian Sullivan. The one-year anniversary of October 7th is occurring was it between the Jewish holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when Islamic terrorists would want to strike. I don't think it's just that as much too as it is just a weird anniversary of just an assault and a rape of a civilization. Like, it was just in and of itself was a brutal rape of a civilization. And by the way, Israel, no offense, and especially to any of my Jewish friends or Israeli friends, the fact that they didn't know and they were silent about it as long. I'm sorry, I know I'm a conspiracy theorist, but that is bullshit. They broke through the fence. There's no damn way. Oh, it just happened to be broken at that time. Our electronics weren't working. No, mosquito farts outside of that fence, and they know. There's no way. No way. I'm not going to say it. Now, maybe those, Middle Eastern mosquitoes are known for their loud flatulence. Maybe. We don't know. What is this? Was this the Gavin Newsom story? It could be. Okay. Now, good Lord Almighty. Dan, this is what happens. You talk too much. Ooh, this is fun. This is a fighter that is obviously from another part of this world, as far as Americans are concerned. But he's saying what's true to all of us and what all of these people need to be saying. Speaking about Macron and some of these other globalists, the globalists. So again, the MMA fighters and some of the athletes and some of the musicians are actually starting to break ranks, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I guess maybe, there's some F words in there. Yeah, you probably figured that out. It's okay. It's okay. Got the trash truck going by. What do you guys think about that? That's pretty good, huh? We got some trash pickup going down at Chinatown. I thought this was really damn funny, and Elon Musk posted this out. So the Department of Government Efficiency, that's what Elon Musk is suspecting would be a cool name for this group that he's going to be overseeing, which is DOGE, or the Dogecoin. You got to give the man credit. That was pretty sweet. He figured out a way to tie those two things together. Well done. All right, Helene. Whole bunch of nasty stuff. Hopefully I did okay putting these stories together. They're probably going to be a little all over the place. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But here's some aerial footage. This is North Carolina. Just, again, I'm going to be a little bit between here and Florida, I think. But it's just hard putting some of this together today, it seems. Aerial footage reveals devastation. Check out this video of people doing different drone footage videos together. I guess I can probably talk through this. So yeah, extreme flooding. Extreme flooding. These are actually live. You can see the movement of the water and everything. Yeah, and this is a bad day. A bad day at the office, for sure. Now, again, a lot of this tends to dissipate after, a few days, whatever. But when you're in certain parts of the world or country, you realize how much of us are just kind of flood basins in general. And yeah, when a lot of rain comes through, oh my goodness, the way nature works is pretty brutal, pretty powerful too. And oftentimes beautiful, but we tend to build in fire zones, we tend to build in flood zones, we do, and then we rebuild, and it's sort of a weird thing that we're famous for. Really, we should not build here, but right, how crazy would that be to just not build there? It doesn't flood that often. Yeah, but when it does, it sucks. I know. It sucks bad. A lot of people dead, too. Potentially up to 99 plus so far. From Georgiana Garrett, I really think this needs to be shared to your page as it reaches so many more people. So Crystal Wright is the one sharing it. They spoke. This is some weird thing that's going on. I don't know if this is true. I hope it's not, but in case it is, be on the lookout. But there is, I guess, a bunch of truckers that are having issues going into some of the truck stops, especially out here in Tennessee. Denmark, Tennessee is one of the places being called out, where literally the sidewalls, Dixon too, sidewalls of the trucks are actually being punctured with knives. So someone's out there trying to destroy and damage the relief trucks, the trucks that are driving relief stuff down to the danger zones, if you will. And then people are supposedly slashing the tires and stuff. Just insane stuff that's going on right now. We got 2 states underwater. Americans are stranded without food or supplies, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are completely AWOL. Now, I think Kamala did actually, I've got a comment that she made somewhere in here. But North Carolina Department of Transportation says all roads into western North Carolina should be considered closed, even the big ones. Catastrophic devastation in western North Carolina is like nothing we've ever seen. It's insane what they've got. The flooding, the damage, the roads, it's really, really bad. Really bad right now. 1,000 people reported unaccounted for in North Carolina County, hit hardest by the Hurricane Helene. Yep. Was this unaccepted... possibly 30 people dead. I've heard up to 99 now. Authorities in Buncombe County reported the horrifying toll in an emergency meeting announcement. So 1,000 people are missing from Buncombe County right now. Don't know what's going on. Just insane amounts of damage. Insane amounts of damage. It's brutal right now. Brutal damage that we are living through. So, again, and I'm not going to talk about climate. There's a lot going on. I've talked about magnetic field, and I think the sun's directly involved, and there's a lot of things going on right now. So this is, I think, par for the course, for sure. We are in changing times. The storm is upon us, and I don't mean to minimize the horrific experiences when we go through a storm. It's something we all need to keep tabs on. Prayers to everybody out there that's going through this in any way, shape, or form. I've got some close friends of mine that fortunately got kind of worked out okay, but obviously a lot of people didn't. So huge problems and huge pain. So my love goes out to everybody. My prayers go out to everybody. But yeah, again, just all sorts of damage. We got images of damage, just destruction. Wow, that is horrible. Look at the rippling of that road. Damn. Wow, I've never even seen that before. That is crazy. Wow, yeah, so just horrific damage. All roads closed on Western HC. Wow. Wow, that's deep. Look at that. This is the traffic camera. The actual traffic light looks like it's underwater in this picture here. Is that right? Are you kidding? It's that deep? Looks like, right? Looks like, oh my God, that's like 5 feet deep or whatever. That is crazy. Yeah, wow. Conyers, Georgia. So Georgia Emergency Management Agency, Homeland Security on behalf of rocks. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that's what the hell? There is a chemical company, a biolab company, nonetheless. And they're saying shelter in place. We've got this huge fire. Now, we've got some information that's kind of showing what this is. Pretty huge fire, as you can tell. what we do know is it's a chemical plant. Now, they call it bio lab, which I think should be concerning just right off the bat, because if they do bio stuff, they would have chemicals also. But if there's bios that have been released because of this, which, again, this is a battleground state. Ohio's a battleground state. You think of some of the places where some of this crazy stuff keeps happening. Here we go. Here's another example. Now, they said a chemical at this facility had water touch it, and it started to burn, and they're like, we're trying to bring in heavy lifting equipment to get that chemical out of there. But it's like ultimately that chemical got wet, and much like the Gremlins, it is now doing horrific things. But they're like, we don't know what the chemical is for sure. And it's like, yes, you do. The reason they're not talking about it, because there's a chlorine smell happening right now. The reason they're not talking about it is because probably the chemical, when it releases with water, is probably pretty bad, caustic, and poisonous. So they don't really want to deal with the problems that come from that, especially the EPA, the government, the Bidens in general, just the failure that's bound to come. So yeah, there's a lot that's not good about what they're doing and how they're handling this. It's kind of like the toxic thing that happened in the train wreck in Ohio. So again, we're just more of this crazy. Oh yeah, Helene leaves 99 people dead. We don't need to play 2 more minutes of that. Like I said, these are sort of slightly weird order. Yeah, there we go. That was not supposed to be there, but whatever. So what we knew about the chlorine plume, list of closures. Again, this is, they're saying stay inside if you live anywhere over there. Chlorine is bad in a lot of ways, toxic. It's also very corrosive in general. Yeah, we've seen what it does to, whites, right? If you use too much chlorine bleach in your laundry, it'll pretty much destroy the clothing, right? You'll tear through it or punch a hole through it or whatever. It's like it just ruins it. So what's going on out there is, unfortunately, I'd love to say I can trust our government and they're telling us the truth, but I don't believe that for even a quarter second. So yeah, I am assuming this is possibly worse than what they're admitting to us. So Georgia's going through some tough times as well right now. Here is the lieutenant governor, I guess, talking about how the governor needs to help out. I don't know what's up if these two are like not on the same page or what, but whatever. It's weird to me, too. The accent just so does not fit this dude's face. It's funny how most voices don't, but all said, here's the lieutenant governor talking about what needs to happen there in North Carolina, but the western part of North Carolina. There's a lot of different directions in one thing.
Is doing to help.
Well, we immediately came to the conclusion there's more need to be done from the state level. From my office, I don't really have the power that the governor has. But I can go ahead and tell you right now, I'm urging the governor right now to get more help up here to these folks. We need more National Guardsmen. We need more resources in the state, up here in this part of the state. We just left Buncombe County, and the situation in Buncombe County, I mean, it's dire over there. What we heard over there was very heartbreaking and very distressing. Those folks need help desperately. They need food, they need water, they need help searching for bodies. They need it all. So I'm urging the governor to not wait on the federal government. We don't need to wait on the federal government. That takes 5 days. The folks that are up here right now, they don't have 5 days. They need it right now. There are folks out there that are stranded with no food, no water, no resources. We have the capability in this state right now to bring those resources to those people. My team and I, we're working on that out of my office. We have folks that are working on being able to deliver those resources, and we need to continue to do that, because this is the storm of this is of epic proportions, folks. I've never seen anything like this in this state, and we really need to bring everything to bear, and we need all hands on deck. We need to put politics aside, and we need to focus on being North Carolinians and human beings and get done what we need to get done for the people of Western North Carolina. That's what we intend to do.
Thank you. And what if you've been here talking to people and seeing some of the damage? Like, what has stuck out to you the most through this conversation?
Some of the stories that I've heard, some of the stories that I've heard about the loss of life. I mean, it's heartbreaking to say the least.
We're going to leave it at that, guys.
When you hear about that, it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
So we're going to do everything we can to bring as much relief as possible, as quickly as possible.
We appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, horrible things going on right now. Again, a lot of people are conspiracy theories, and right and wrong and different. I'm on this conspiracy theory train almost 80% of the time, 90% of the time. I'm assuming there's a lot of people that are going to say that this was intentional and they steered it here, and I don't disagree with that. The Gulf is abnormally warm. What I think that they did is they created an area of interesting warmth. There's also a weird warmth channel. If you actually, there's a temperature gradient that you look in the hottest part of the Gulf right now is this basic path that these 3 storms have recently taken, but there's been about 8, 9 storms, something like that have happened through the Gulf. They're all strengthening oddly as they get there. And again, really warm waters in the Gulf, which is, from a technology standpoint, not hard to heat an area as much as maybe to get a hold of HARP technology anymore. I think the deep state's been cut off from a lot of stuff. So there's some stuff they're still doing, but I think for the most part, they've been hampered. So yeah, the Gulf's going to be a bit of a dangerous place for the next little while. They're saying that the hurricane season's probably going to last longer this year, and my speculation is because they're messing with the temperatures in the Gulf, and so that's not going to help us out. We got during a 10 a.m. press conference, it was revealed that the incident began around 5 a.m. This is talking about the fire still. The sprinklers apparently malfunctioned, causing water to make contact with a reactive chemical. That caused a small fire on the roof, they're saying, and then this is what led to further and further escalation. This fire is very huge, and they're kind of like, yeah, so we don't exactly know what happened, right? Reportedly reignited at Biolab in Conyers, and a hard evacuation is underway. The original fire started around 5 a.m. So now the whole entire interstate's been blocked. This is not probably very good. They're definitely going to downplay it and make it sound like, oh, no, it's no big deal. The city of Asheville, North Carolina, has announced that nearly 100,000 residents could be without water access for several weeks. Yeah, they've had this storm really screwed up some stuff, made it difficult for a lot of people. Interestingly, out in Tennessee, 8 migrants have been arrested over burglaries targeting flood victims. Yeah, all migrants, all 5 or 8 of these guys arrested for allegedly looting and burglarizing flood-ravaged victims. Now, again, innocent until proven guilty, but there's just so many of these stories, unfortunately, of people taking advantage of others, of just taking advantage of kindness. Here is a picture that's kind of, I don't want to say going viral because it's Kamala Harris. I mean, how viral can it actually go? But fake wannabe posts photo of herself supposedly on the phone. Her headphones aren't even plugged in, is what is said here. And I agree. That's actually a legitimate thing. And this is Kamala Harris talking about how she was briefed about what happened, and we're making sure. It's funny. Biden said something too, and horrible. I saw an interview. I didn't grab it and play it because it's stupid, and he's not actually in charge anyway. And I don't think she's actually in charge either, but she pretends to be in charge. And so she did some of that fake in chargey kind of shit, and just, oh yeah, we're talking with the states, we're keeping those communications open. Yeah. She didn't giggle, thank God, that I know of. I think it's typed. So, that's what's going on. But what is worth of talking about? All right, first off, this lady says her headphones aren't even plugged in. And I'm going to say, all right, looks like they're probably not, right? Like you would think middle of the phone, right, roughly is where that plug would go if there were a plug. And then that would run off kind of, and you'd probably see some cord. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe. It's possible, but I don't think so. It looks like that's the rim of the table is what it looks like to me because it's got a little shiny, right? I'm just saying, having fun with this. But then when I think about, like, what version of my phone, and I got a Samsung, not the newest, but not, like, older. I don't want to say what it is, but, well, it's 23, and that's, it's not the newest, but it's nice. And then if it's an iPhone, my girlfriend doesn't have the newest, but she's got close to it, I think. I don't know if it's the 8 or I don't even know what the hell anything. I don't care about Apple at all, so I don't know a lot about it. But whatever number the hell, 16, that's right, it's the new one with the AI, so I guess she's got, I don't even know which one she's got. It's like 15 or 14, I don't even know. I don't even care. But I know it's got the buds. She doesn't even have a plug-in anymore. So I guess my question is, how old's this bitch's phone? If she's literally got these plug-in headphones? Or is there some, like, iPod in her lap that she's listening to maybe because she's so, once you get a good mix of music on your iPod, such a hard time to get that fixed. I don't know. I spent more time on this for sure than I should have, but it still seems weird. Here's Donald Trump doing like presidential type stuff. He's receiving a briefing at Lowndes County Emergency Management Agency area.
Augusta is next, particularly because I'm particularly
Yeah, it's funny how the left's probably going to make fun of this because like Trump just, or if not, I'm giving this to him. But like Trump puts on his hat and that's like he's president now. It's kind of funny. But anyway, he's at least out there talking to these people, and I think that's fantastic. Thank God Trump is doing something. Here's President Trump announcing the help. He's working with Elon Musk, right? So,
Nobody's seen anything like it, and to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. We're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication.
Nice. And again, it requires a receiver, so sometimes easier said than done. I'm like, yeah, we can make it available, but they need receivers. There's a physical receiver that you need to have when you got Starlink. Donald Trump posted this. We are now heading to Valdosta, Georgia, in order to pay my respects and bring lots of relief materials, and then which they did. I don't think I've got the video of it, but he actually showed up with like truckloads, like Good Shepherd or something too. It's like a religious group actually, but they brought in truckloads of stuff. How cool is that? Before the federal government showed up with FEMA, Donald Trump showed up with supplies. Think about that. Think about how that plays. Literally, I'm not making that up. I don't think FEMA's gotten there yet. Donald Trump already brought in supplies. It plays horribly against the administration currently. So they brought a lot of stuff. Many politicians and law enforcement were there saying hi to a whole bunch of people. They're working very hard. So, yeah, yada, yada. But he showed up with supplies. Super cool, in fact. Here is Trump talking about, reaching out to President Biden. Kind of funny.
And have you reached out to President Biden about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now, actually.
Crap, that was loud on my side. So hopefully it's reasonable volume for you. Post-production, I plan to fix that, but good God. All right, guys, this is a super big deal. I'm going to tell and warn all of you guys right now. The strike seems to be going into effect at the ports, which means one thing. Things are going to kind of start to run out, and it's going to, for every 1 day we strike, it's going to supposedly take about 5 days to fix. We'll see if it's that bad. Hopefully it's not, but it's going to be multiple days to fix for every 1 day we F off. So the things that matter to you folks, water, food, a lot of things too, but those don't necessarily get shipped in. A lot of that stuff's filled here, if you will, from tap water in most cases, but whatever. It's tap water with basic tap water. That's my favorite right now. That said, a lot of things are not going to start, like they're going to start to run out. They're saying bananas, booze, chocolate, and cherries if there's a long port strike. The port strike seems to be in effect. In fact, we've got this, that the Seattle port seems to have shut down today, the 30th, before I think the strike was supposed to go into effect the 2nd, maybe? Feel like? If not, it was definitely in October, but it was like this week for sure. I don't know. Here it seems it might already be happening in the port of Seattle.
America's biggest ports to tell you about. Cheryl Sonny with the details now. Cheryl.
Maria, some major news in the state of freight. The port of Seattle closed due to a coordinated labor disruption staged by the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. The move a major hit for one of the nation's most vital export locations for U.S. grain and produce manufacturers, including goods like apples, milk, cattle, wheat, and potatoes. In a statement, the union writing that they want a contract that is, quote, fair and equitable and represents the hard work and contributions of its members toward the ongoing success of the multi-billion-dollar shipping industry. The union's actions affecting all West Coast ports, really, which combined make up $5.2 billion worth of trade.
Wow. So yeah, that is a mess going on over there. So it sounds like we might have this going into effect Again, who's this going to look bad on? Current administration. This is all about optics right now. I don't know who's in charge, and it's really weird. There's a strange tug of war, and it really affects us as the people the most. Now, we've been talking to everybody, my audience, about being prepared for outages, not being able to get stuff, being dark for a number of days. Like, if you're even sort of prepared for any of that, then you got nothing to worry about. Like, you'll be fine. If you still haven't as of yet, you literally are totally running out of time. Unquestionably. I also use this too as a good time to bring up the Goldco. Good friends. These guys are awesome. They're rock stars, and they have the best customer service out there. They can help you get out of your current 401k or IRA tax-free and penalty-free. They can help you get out of it and get out quick, essentially, at this point. Because of all the crazy shenanigans happening in the world right now, and the fact that we've got a deep state that desperately doesn't want us to have our wealth, which you currently do tied up in their system, I recommend getting out. Go to my good friends. Let them help you. They've got a wealth protection kit that will help protect your wealth. Exactly that. There's two assets that have actually gone positive relative to inflation. When you factor in inflation, they've actually gone positive. That's Bitcoin and actual precious metals. Okay? Stocks, currencies, real estate, none of those cash for cash are a good investment. Now, real estate is, if you factor in interest rates, writing off, and taxes and all the things that come into that, it is actually over time a benefit. If you bought a house outright with cash, not. That's a bad asset choice. That would be a bad place to sink money into. Literally would. Unless you need the write-off. You can get out of their system tax-free, penalty-free. Step sideways into a precious metals IRA, and now you're protected. And the prices of gold and silver have been going through the friggin' roof. And you want to get in before they continue to go up. You want to get in while they're still getting, and there's a lot of getting to what we understand. Now, how weird and severe and bumpy this gets, that's the question. It could get multiples by 4, 5, 6, 7, or it could go more than that, depending on if it's horrific. I don't think it's going to get that bad, but I still feel like we got a lot of growth baked in. And that's when you consider what you want to do once you made a bunch off the rise, when we're at the top, and that's when you start thinking about, maybe I want to invest this into the new currency or what. We'll see. But you want to get out of their system as it's collapsing. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system. Get out of it. Get into something that you have control of, that you actually have comfort, and that you actually know is moving in a positive direction relative to inflation. As the inflation happens more, the price of gold goes up more, and to a percentage, it seems, that keeps you on the positive side of the inflationary bubble. drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you, and they freaking want to get out of you super duper bad. Bunch of stuff with elections right now, some good, some bad. A lot of good, though. A lot of good news coming up here. So we're going to start with a wonderful prayer that Tori says brought up, and this is in relation, I think, to the Georgia election thing. And like I said, I was watching the crap out of it, and the same dude's still up on there. They tried to get him thrown off, by the way, as letting him be an expert for the Georgia election. Anyway, it's a long story, but the judge is like, I'll take it under an advisement, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but it is overruled. And they just moved on, kept him as an expert. And I was like, oh, it is some daytime drama TV, baby. Oh, my God. I was like glued to it. I literally sat there and watched it for like an hour and a half. I was like checking some stories as they were popping up, but I was like, holy crap, wow. This could change a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But Heavenly Father, we ask for your divine wisdom to guide the courts today. Grant clarity, fairness, and discernment to all who judge, so that the truth and justice prevail. May your light shine on every decision, and may the truth be revealed in all matters. God is my light, and may he shine bright on the Supreme Court and the D.C. Court in session today on matters that affect all people of our nation. So much going on right now. Here's General Flynn talking about, well, what's coming up, the next 37 days, what he's involved with, and I agree. The vote is what matters. Getting out and voting by mail, voting in person, whatever your thing is, vote, and probably talk about voting. Make it kind of a thing, because we need to make sure at least all of our people are voting. We need the vote big time. This number needs to be overwhelming. I know some people don't believe that's possible. Yes, it is. And yes, we've come a long ways. And yes, there's a lot of people that are not okay with how things have been. The number of people who voted in elections have been very, very small and has steadily grown, but has been growing in tremendous numbers lately. This also freaks out the deep state. So keep it up. But here's Flynn talking about it.
We are in a period where we're going to see such a level of desperation in these next 37 days. And I want people to understand that what you think you have been through already, you know, the last 8 years, what we are about to experience in these next couple of weeks, this next month plus, I think that it's going to blow the minds of people. I mean, I think we're going to see some things that we have not experienced as a nation. And as you said earlier, I actually feel very blessed to be alive right now because, I mean, I have studied our country. I have studied our founders. I've studied the warfare, the wars that we have been in. And I look at things and I say, God, you know, we're in the lead here. We have the momentum on our side. We have the mass of people on our side. We have the majority on our side. All we have to do is make the decision to get out of the bleachers, get onto the field, folks, and leave it all on the field in these next 37 days. Do not leave yourself with any excuses on the 6th of November by saying, well, I woulda, shoulda, coulda done something else. You do it now and do it for the next 37 days as hard as you can. That's why I'm out here in studio with Alex, because I'm traveling again around this country, basically with the same message to get people fired up, to get people inspired, to give people hope, and to make sure that the American people understand that we are in a war right now. This is a, intellectual, physical, emotional, and definitely a spiritual war. And I appreciate the fact that you, Alex, always bring the idea of faith back into this, because I think that people have to have faith in each other. We are facing a dark, soulless group of people, Marxists, that have no soul. They are dark-hearted, and their idea about the way the United States of America should be is without a constitution, total control of the Supreme Court, total control of our lives, own nothing, be happy, as Klaus Schwab has stated many times and written about in his book, The Great Reset, which I hate to even talk about it, but I want people to understand you have to understand your enemy. You have to read their doctrine. You have to listen to what they say. And the fact that I'm sitting here and understanding what our enemy is trying to do, because when I say our enemy, I hate to say that about somebody who is a American serving in our government, but these people are enemies of America.
They've hijacked.
Yeah, big time enemies of America. And I don't know. I feel like each one of us has our focus. So I don't know if having to necessarily understand the enemy is germane to everyone's mission. But the point is, I think, super well taken. I mean, again, I think a lot of people get hung up on that sometimes, and they call it paralysis by analysis, right? You get so much information that now you're paralyzed by the fact that I got this graph and I've got this graph, and if I put them together and cross-tabulate them, oh my God, right? And you start to freak out inside your own friggin' head. Not cool when it happens that way. So yeah, Trump is. The way I saw this, and there's a lot of things he shares with us here, what I hear, because the message is what matters to each of us, right? It's going to be different for all of us. But what I hear is Trump telling me how to be successful, how to be victorious. And it's a great way to get around some of the humps of speaking about things as if it's already happened. Trump is art of the deal. As far as manifesting, or call it what you want, being successful, the dude's just an exemplary guy. He's a guy that you should look at and be like, wow, he does it the right way. Not his attitude and all that. It's not that. It's just the way he looks at stuff, the way he looks at a problem, the way he tackles it. He's like, I'm gonna conquer this. Like, it's just an attitude. That attitude is what it is. Personality is what's mean tweets and all that shit, right? So he could be an extraordinarily successful guy that's maybe got a mean tweet side to him. Whatever. I don't know. I kind of think the mean tweets are funny, but I'm just saying there's a big difference to me between the expert and the message. It's like bedside manner versus like how good a surgeon is he, right? They're two different things. They don't really even relate. So that was actually I should have just went in that direction the first time. Saved all of us time. Whatever. Happens, folks. Sorry.
Since she took office, and are slated to be increased this year by more than 30%. Congratulations. You know, if and when we win, everyone says, sir, say, if they didn't cheat, I wouldn't even be here today. You know why? I wouldn't have to campaign. I'm here only because they cheat, and they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I mentioned a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control. Because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. We have to have a landslide. Right, Mike? So I never say when I win. We're leading in all the polls. We're leading the state. But I say if and when, because I don't want to be obnoxious, and I don't want to be foolish either. But if and when we're leading big, I win, I will cut. Too big to rig. You're right. We want to make it too big to rig.
He did the same thing with the wars. He never said that nobody's started any wars since I have been president while he was president. He said all of that after. And you would never say it. It's that whole thing. You guys have heard the adage, right? Never say never, right? Never. The second you say, I never do something, oh, that's going to happen. You watch. You just jinxed yourself. And many would say, I don't believe in jinx. I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. And you can call it what you would like to call it, But this is what he's talking about. We know what the deep state's trying to do. We know what the bad guys are trying to do. We get that. So do we say our side's flawless, our side's perfect, our side's guaranteed? No. Again, that's why it's so important we all go and vote. But we don't. We don't think that way. We can't. Because there, of course, is always a chance. But man, it looks like if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to win this game. And that oftentimes ends up correct. And that's where we are. Future's not set, folks. It's not set yet. We got, 38 days, 37 days, whatever the hell. 37 days. I need you guys full time for the next 37 days. I'll be honest, I even been working Saturdays. Well, one, I've been doing the tier things, the tier 3 and tier 4, the tier $5 and tier $25. We had those two meetings for the last 2 Saturdays, but I also put videos out on my spiritual channel. Like I take a day to give back to the community, if you will. Then we all got to work it. We're in this last little hump. We're going into October surprise, whichever that might be. Jim Jordan posted this. The FBI won't tell us why they released the Trump bounty letter, won't brief us on Iran hacking President Trump's campaign, is slow-walking the IG's report on whether confidential sources were present on January 6th, is still retaliating against Marcus Allen. VA employees accessed Vance's and Walsh's medical records. There's an investigation underway. To me, this just demonstrates how retarded the VA system is, by the way. Employee records, there should be a VIP flag or something to that effect, or a status or something that allows VA employees to be put into a place or category where only unique eyes have the opportunity to see them. To me, this is a giant failure on the VA's computer systems, or at least the people that admin them. So I'm going to say this is a giant fail on the Harris, Walsh, Biden campaign. Whatever the case is, 12 different employees have looked at these records, and 12 different employees are being investigated right now. That was stupid. Don't do that. If you have access to certain people's records, every time you access them, there is a record. Just saying. There's no, I didn't do that. Yes, you did. You literally had to type in your credentials one more time, and you did it. Here you are in a screen grab where we recorded it, and you're like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. And you're like, you don't know a lot of things, sir. Trump assassination attempt. The Secret Service is going to face a new lawsuit over its DEI quota. I thought this was just a weird angle that they're going with it, but it actually kind of makes sense. They literally are saying 30% of the people working there have to be female, which implies that they now have to discriminate against men in order to hire properly, which is illegal because of the 14th Amendment, where we gave women the right to get into the workplace, right? Isn't that when we gave women the right to vote? Discrimination basis of sex, whatever that 14th Amendment is. I could pull it up, but I'm just happy being ignorant. It's fine. I'll share it with you guys. But yes, the 14th Amendment obviously giving the ability of the sex to work in the workplace is part of the whole thing. And here they are saying that men can't do it. It's the same thing they're doing with race, where white people we don't want to hire. It's the same. It's racism. It's if you discriminate reversely, it's still racism. You're not allowed to, like, we passed all these laws and said you can't do this. People of color or people of not color, they can't decide that people of the other side aren't allowed to have rights. That's just not how it works. I love it. I think it's cool. I think it pisses people off too. It's fun. Donald Trump, truth this out. I will be doing a personal play-by-play on the debate tomorrow between the brilliant J.D. Vance and highly inarticulate tampon Tim Walz. I hope that cognitively challenged lion Kamala Harris will be listening so that she can again show the world she will make up false facts and stories in order to change around an administrative failure. In any event, I will be commenting on what is going on. Watch Truth Social tomorrow night. So he's just going to be posting stuff on Truth. I think he's trying to get people over there. Trump, please figure out a way where you can do like a live thing. That would be cool. Just put a microphone in front of you and then play the thing and just talk, man. Like, you could do that better than you could text, I'm sure. Come on. Plus, all of us would love that. We'd share it everywhere. Tim Walz is nervous about the upcoming debate. Some are saying. We don't know. I mean, I have a hard time believing he would say this to anybody that would release it publicly. Maybe something to the effect of he's taking it serious and he's been studying a bunch. But yeah, somebody supposedly close to him said that he was a little nervous, didn't want to let Kamala down, which he's almost assuredly going to do. I would assume Vance has to walk him up one side and down the other. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know what that means, but he's gonna own this situation for sure. But like, is it gonna be fair? How do they break this up? Like, is anybody actually going to be watching? Because it is the vice presidents. No one really cares. Let's be honest. Everyone knows that. Kamala Harris never cared about the border until she realized it would cost her the election. This is a funny little statistic somebody did. And the graphic is rough because you're like, well, it's hard to see, Dan. So here over in 2021, Kamala Harris had 2 posts the entire year about the border. In 2024, from January 1st to September 26th, currently 4 days ago. So for the first 3 quarters of the year, Kamala Harris had 7 posts about the border. This year, it's an election year. The first 3 quarters, the first almost solid full 9 months. Since the 27th of this month, today's the 30th, and they just had the 28th as the ending. So in 2 days, in a year where 9 full months almost, she did 7 posts. In 2 days, she's done 15 posts about the border. Weird. It's almost like she realizes, oh shit, this matters more to anybody than anything else, and I'm not talking about it. You remember those earrings she was wearing during the debate? A lot of people were like speculating that it was probably that technology that's actually, you're able to receive and answer phone calls. Well, she is wearing, we think, the same earrings in this video. I don't know, they don't look like the pearls as much, but they're kind of similar. They might be them, but she definitely is wearing earrings. But she also looks like she has a thing in her ear, too. So I don't know. I don't know if this is necessarily correct. I'm going to call maybe it's not. I feel like I can almost see something in her ear. But she definitely takes a phone call. And it could be that technology. Don't know. But I'm going to let you guys be the decision or deciders yourself.
Could even do a little slice of orange, something like that. Oh, yes, hi. Yes, I'm here. Okay, I'm going to talk about a recipe while you're checking. Is that okay? Okay, she'll tell me if I'm annoying her. Hey, how you doing? Hi. Okay, so Nick, if you're doing... Okay, Nick, but a dry brine is easier. And do it brine for 24, but 48 hours is best if you have the time. Make sure you guys get in the...
Now, what I think bothers me a little on this thing is the way when she does get the call, notice how she does a lot of the downward to the angle. Like I'm wondering if the microphone is in this part of the necklace or something. I'm not sure where the microphone's at, but she seems to be talking to a specific part of herself, or maybe she's got bionic boobs and she talks to those like bionic boobs. Alexa, talk to my boobs. Oh, how many of your Alexas just went off? Alexa, send naked pictures to Dan. Let's see if that works. I don't know if it does. That'd be cool. Yeah, that said, this is what happened. She got busted. Big time. Not good. So, yeah, we, pretty sure she probably cheated. I don't think anyone doubted that, really. I would be surprised anyways. This is kind of funny. The Trump people put this out, or Trump himself, I think, actually. And he put this out, when is it dated? October 18th of this, 2004. Oh, how funny. This is dated 2004. I didn't catch that when I first looked at this, but someone's just like pointing out how funny this is. But it says, Mr. Mark Cuban, Dear Mark, I am truly sorry to hear that your show has been canceled for lack of ratings. When I initially called you to congratulate you on the benefactor, little did you or I realize how disastrous and embarrassing it would turn out to be for you. If you ever decide to do another show, please call me, and I will be happy to lend a helping hand. With best wishes, Donald Trump. Nice. What a sweet guy. Out in Las Vegas, we've got a giant satirical statue that is apparently depicting Donald Trump naked. Big giant statue, guys got him up on a crane, and it's a big giant naked Trump with bad posture. Well, kind of straight, but his head's all down, so that's like you're gonna get a kink in your neck doing that, Donald. But yeah, fat belly with his schlong, actually a schlong that is actually there. Not sure. Doubtful that it's maybe true to life, but kind of funny. You know, and this is supposed to piss us off. Maybe it does some people. I think it's funny as hell is what I think it is. Now, this is Donald Trump showing up, arriving at Valdosta Regional Airport in Loudon, Georgia. Many people might be saying, Dan, why the hell is it not Trump's airplane? I'm going to say it's probably because the airport's really teeny tiny, so they probably brought in a much smaller plane and was probably just easier to manage in the big picture. But I'm guessing this Valdosta Regional Airport is probably not capable of allowing a 757 to land at it, probably a small runway. So yeah, that's my guess. But anyway, here's Trump showing up, kind of cool. I always wonder who the five dudes are that they're actually like here, right? Like, obviously these are very specific people, whether they're important or not. I don't know. I always wonder about these things, especially now being one of the few people. I mean, again, I'm proud of myself for something that's probably not a big deal, but supposedly 500 of us. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's cool. Got invited. We'll see. Can't wait to come back and tell you guys, or even do a live from the place. We'll see. Not from the event itself, but after or before or whichever. The Democrats are interfering with my campaign by not giving us the proper number of people with Secret Service that are necessary for security. They're using them for themselves, even though they don't need them. Oh, this is what they're kind of doing right now, is what Trump's calling out. So I guess the people on the left are trying to have little mini rallies and stuff, which are requiring them to get a bunch of the Secret Service people, so there's not enough resources to go around, and since they're currently in office, they're more important than somebody who's not in office. Wah, wah. So this is probably the games they're playing right now. Trump's calling it out, saying this is what they're doing. This is election interference. It's probably true. I don't know how we get around that. Obviously, the bulletproof glass is obviously making a huge difference. Let's be honest. I mean, there are things that could possibly shoot through it, but that's pretty gnarly, pretty serious. So we'll see. Only like 1 or 2 countries in the world probably make an ordinance that would go through that glass, and I would say the United States is definitely one of them. What, potentially maybe Israel, the other, maybe. Dan Scavino posted this. They're going back to Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, October 5th. Saturday, October 5th. Trump is back in Butler. I'll bet the left throw some sort of crazy big event on the 5th. Who wants to bet they will? And I think he's doing this intentionally. Trump knows. Trump knows what he's doing. He's prepared for this. Guys, this is an optics game. It's an information warfare. It's very important to kind of keep that in the front of your, the brain at all times, that front lobe. Get it up in there. United States versus Ruth. Ruth, the big thing everyone's freaking out about right now is Ruth basically said he pleaded not guilty. And people are freaking out about that. I don't know. I wouldn't be freaked out about that at all. I don't even know what they're charged. One, having a firearm, that's for sure. That's a felony. That'll put him in jail no matter what. But, yeah, what else they got? I don't know. We'll see. He didn't actually fire the gun. He had the gun in a place you're not supposed to have the gun. He shouldn't have had the gun. There's a lot of things that happens around all that. But he didn't shoot it. So that's going to be, one of the things that's a little tricky about this case for a lot of people. He was an assassin. No, he wasn't. He didn't actually pull the trigger. He didn't actually do it. I mean, I want to say we hate him and we put him in jail, but he didn't actually fire the gun. DanRadioStyle.PetClub247.com. Pet Club 247. Awesome group of, do they have it yet? Oh, it's still under construction. You guys are killing me. Killing me, Smalls. So we've had a lot of actual people that have done testimony. Dogs that have coats, funny bumps, just problems with their teeth and mouth, cancer. This Coriolus versicolor mushroom, a huge difference. There is just so many people that have actually, I shared an email last time. I'll probably share it again. My good friend Alpha shared it with me. Same company. So it was people that are using this product. And this product's amazing. There's also for people as well. And that was one of the things that she was talking about. She had all sorts of crazy ailments at one time, a lot of autoimmune type stuff, and just really weird stuff. Started taking some of these human pills, and decent doses too. I've known someone, I had him on Baby Trump or Chris Eric's Flex the Truth or whatever. He's done a lot of things. He's got a lot of names. But he did this. He had a tumor supposedly, and he was taking this Coriolus versicolor. And he took it in high doses, did it like 2-3 times a day, and supposedly the tumor went away, right? Like we've heard other people say the same things about their animals and about themselves, or having their joints feel better the next morning, or having sleep better, or the fact that they are getting over some sort of weird thing that they've had. There is a weirdness to how well this works. And from all the studies, there's over 400, you can't like OD on it. So there is an amazing amount of studies, an amazing amount of positive effects that people have witnessed, especially people that have had immune issues or sicknesses or just health issues in general. Mush puppies for the dogs, it's like the way that a lot of people just get into the game. They're cheap, inexpensive. It's a way to give your dog a little cookie that your dog's going to love, and it's actually got this Coriolus versicolor mushroom in it. And it's all natural ingredients, extraordinarily healthy in general, and it's going to start just in of itself is going to start making a huge difference in the health of your pet. There are way better ways you can continue through that process and make sure that it's just a guarantee, right? Like we said, we take multiple numbers of those pills multiple times a day because you want to really flood your body with this stuff because it seems to make a huge difference. So we've got liver treats as well. They've got this for cats and dogs. They're called Mojos. And that's got the mushroom on it as well. And it's just liver flavored. That, cats, they don't want a mush puppy. That's like a cookie. But dogs like both. Right? Cats, only the liver, right? Come on now. And we've got some food for the dogs. They got the super sauce for dogs and cats. So you can squeeze it on their existing food. It's just an easy way to, give them extra. It's kind of like a gravy. They love it. They eat it up like crazy. So again, a lot of different kinds of food. They've got toys. When you think about the toys, you get a lot of squeaky toys and all that stuff. Most of those are made in China, right? Yeah, look at it. Made in China when you buy it. And I'll tell you what, they use lead, and there's a lot of different things that they're allowed to put in those. And since it's dog toys, they don't really care here in the FDA and stuff like that. So you've got lead and chemicals in those toys. That's part of why your dog gets sick, by the way, because it's got crap in its food and in its toys. So you can get some better toys like antler sticks, believe it or not. Your dog just likes sticks. He likes a stick. Well, this stick, when he chews on it, which is good for his teeth, obviously, but when he chews on it, it actually gets that minerals, the bone, the calcium, in its body, which is good for your dog's bones and digestive system and health and everything else. It's just a win-win-win-win-win. That's what they do over here. Your dog doesn't care if it squeaks or not. Trust me. It likes the fact that it's got a stick. That's cool. They got a smaller one if it's got a smaller dog. Get them the antler split. Same thing. They just like a stick. I don't care if it squeaks. That's just annoying for all of us, everybody, and your neighbors. Roll poi. Oh, they got pet balm. This is new. What is this? For the noses and the paws. Ah, it's like doggy Vaseline. That's rad. Wow, fatter, lean, thicker, thin. Pet balm will get it in. Oh, it's me. Oh, chill doggies. What is this? Dietary supplement. Chill doggies. Wow, they got some new cool stuff. I love it. I hope they get their one page up. Anyway, oh, they got the pet balm for the kitty cats. Look at that. What, do we got anything new for the horses? They do. They got pet balm for the horses, too. I guess horses need that as well. Aw, that's rad. All right, sorry. I get hung up on my commercials sometimes because I actually like these people. They got coffee. Oh, they got the twos. You got a 2-pack going on for the same price, I think. Or if not, it's like the actual big discount. That's a great way to do it. I got the gummies right here, and they're actually almost empty. These are awesome. They're actually really good. I have a hard time just eating one. That's the one thing I hate about gummies is because if one's good, you should have, it's $34.99 for one. Yeah, $59.99 for two. Hell yeah. Dude, that's a sweet deal. Shit. I'm going to get some. That's messed up. That's incredible. Body balm. Oh, hey now. Who wants to come over for a slip and slide party? Huh? We're going to use some body balm. So much fun. They got it for everybody. That's really cool. They got some new stuff. I love it. danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Sorry, I had way too much fun on this commercial, but great products. danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Get going on that whole process, man. That's good stuff. All right. Electric grid operators warn the U.S. Supreme Court that the new EPA rules will cause widespread blackouts. I think this is maybe a case that might be able to get the Supreme Court to be able to rein in the EPA. We've already had a few of the alphabet agencies get pulled back. This might be another one of the ones where we just need a lot of stuff on the books that shows these alphabet agencies overstepping their bounds and the Supreme Court reining that in and really going back to the Constitution. And with that, we shall destroy this push to do what they've been doing. Now, I know the people on the left, unfortunately, are so programmed that what we're saying is insanity, and it's a threat to their democracy, which is mob rules. So I get that. I do. And we are literally confirming that to them when we say stuff like this. But right now we need to stop the bleeding, and then we can worry about all the people that are crying like children because they believe a bunch of shit that's not true. The FCC just released texts of its 3-2 decision to approve a Soros-backed group purchase of 200-plus radio stations. People are freaking out about this. Again, it is a big deal. 40 markets, a lot of markets, whatever. But the company I work for, 157 markets right now, way over 200 radio stations. So, whatever. It's not that big a deal, but it is. It's significant. Radio is also an interesting business these days because of the way digital media works. So, again, Soros got this. What is most concerning, and is the story, in my opinion, is how the Biden administration pushed this through lightning fast. Like, they sidestepped stuff that they would normally do. They normally have procedures codified in the federal law that they didn't follow, and this is the first time they've ever not done that. So they are trying to get control of one of the last bastions of propaganda that they have, I would say have no fear, folks. People are waking up. They are seeing what's happening. Just, you got to have a little faith, right? It's like a child. For any of you guys that have kids, or sometimes you got to let them F up, right? Like, you see it happening. You've talked to them about it, and they're like, I know what I'm doing, Dad. Shut up. You're just old. You don't know what you're doing. And then they go and do something stupid, and you're like, I love you. Give me a hug. I'm sorry, right? Like, I know. This hurts. I told you. Okay, that's the last time I'll ever say it. Love you. Come, right? Like, it sucks. You hate it. But they're idiots. They got to learn. And that's how you let them do it. We've got a 10-year-old student that was arrested overnight in Florida. He was allegedly, they're saying, disturbing texts. I would say threats, probably something along the lines of damage to the school. They were probably done in such a fashion that was ridiculous, but it was a 10-year-old, right? They don't really understand the intricacies of things that, they're really texting about, but they're making crazy claims. That's like frightening at 10. You're like, oh my God, we got a serial killer, and he's not even old enough to actually be a serial killer yet. This is frightening. So the kid's busted hardcore. And this is like just a reminder to parents. Y'all need to grab your kids' phones every once in a while. Like, while they're in the middle of texting even is the best way to go. And just grab it while they're already logged in. Don't even let them know. Just grab it. And then let them get all pissed off and be like, I'm going to look at your phone real fast. Check their pictures. Check their texts. See who they're texting. See if there's anything illicit happening. Spend 10 minutes with their phones going through some shit. Just check it out. Right when they don't expect you to do it. And then let them get pissed about it. That way they know for sure this could happen at any point. Random drug tests or random phone checks will and can happen. If I catch anything on your phone that's inappropriate, you lose your phone, period, end of story. Rules, boundaries, guidelines. They'll probably get better at hiding it from you, but nonetheless, there's softwares we can use. Eric Adams' legal team is filing motions to toss part of this whole thing. Like, whatever. I just wanted to share that this is moving forward. I hope he's innocent. I hope Eric Adams is a good guy. And I also think they're going after him, the deep state, because he was coming out about the fact that it was bad that so many immigrants were coming in. Did Eric Adams get into office because he's a good guy? No. So I don't know exactly what all this means, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't trust any of these people. That's me, though. That's me. I sleep okay at night, though. It's all right. Orban, Victor, he says. Donald Trump, Matteo Salvini, and now Marine Le Pen. All proud patriots, and now all of them under attack by judiciary. Keep on fighting, Madame Le Pen. And that's, I think, the French person. I think they're French. They are fighting also and being sued relentlessly like Trump and everyone else. So these guys are being attacked by the deep state machine. All the war stuff going on is crazy. Biden says he's going to talk to Netanyahu, vowing an all-out war must be avoided. But we know that Biden has zero power, zero influence. I don't even think Biden has zero voice. So it's not going to matter. Biden's not going to make a difference in what is happening in the world, one iota. In fact, Biden's never been in charge, probably, but definitely not anymore, that's for sure. The U.S. is sending a few thousand more troops to the Middle East to boost security, as they're calling it. They are definitely ramping up war big time right now. Biden approves $567 million in defense support for Taiwan. I just want to point out something funny. So we get pissed at Russia for any country that helps support them. And right now China has this Taiwan thing, and we just supported Taiwan. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I think we should. But what I am saying is that definitely pisses off China badly, hugely, amazingly huge, giantly huge. So we're doing exactly what China, North Korea, and Iran are doing for Russia. We are doing for Taiwan. We are identical to the people that we claim to hate. The people that we claim to want to go to war with, we are doing the same thing that they're doing. So it really bugs me a lot. I think we're hypocrites beyond words. All said. Yeah, we just gave more money for Taiwan, which they probably should have, I think. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin, I don't know. He arrived in Iran on Monday to meet with Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian. If you say it like you mean it, sometimes it matters. Special attention is going to be paid to the implementation of large-scale joint projects in the sphere of transport, energy, industry, agriculture, and other areas. Yeah, they're building, rebuilding, expanding beyond this world where wars happen all the time. The deep state's running out of ammunition. People are already like, yeah, I got you. The big boys are talking. You just stay over there and scream and throw a tantrum. Deep state, we're going to worry about tomorrow. And that's what we seem to be doing. We're actually making plans for tomorrow, which is pretty cool. New video shows a Russian fighter jet performing a very close flyby. This was dangerously close. In fact, you can see it's red. I'll play it again. But you can see the way it shakes the jet. They came very close. This was pretty crazy. Wow, they didn't like that. They didn't like us being over there. And this is one of their bombers, by the way. This is not one of ours. So they weren't doing this to one of us. They were doing this to scat us away. We were too close for comfort to their bomber, just pissing them off. So that's pretty gnarly. That's good flying, by the way. The pilot was like, damn, dude. A little bit of tech news, not too much, but some. Let's see. Verizon. Oh, yeah, huge, weird thing. So at first it was Verizon. Oh my God, everybody went down. Well, supposedly the initial at 9:30 a.m., I guess this morning, there was 3,800 people. Verizon's got millions of users here in the United States. 3,800 of them were having issues. Then it jumped to a whopping 64,000. Now, what's funny about 64,000 is it's a very interesting number. It's one of those numbers that tend to get squared. Like you had your RAM, it went from 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64. Like 64 is one of those funny little numbers. Whatever the case was, we found out that, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it. Nobody's admitted it, by the way. This is me speculating a little bit. But there is this agreement, $3.3 billion deal, towers deal, for the vertical bridge. So towers are the things that do the cell towers, all right? All their little towers, they got them all over the damn place. So Verizon agreed to this deal, and it seems like within an hour of this deal being approved, now all of a sudden we start having all these funky issues. But then AT&T started suffering outages with customers reporting no cell service or home Wi-Fi. Now, we didn't necessarily get good numbers on them, but probably in the same vicinity. And then we had, what else we got? Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Spectrum, US Cellular, all of them got a weird hit. So it seems to me some cell towers were either taken down, were either taken over, either swapped technology inappropriately and failed like we've seen happen before. I don't know. Something very interesting happened, likely with these very specific cell towers or this company that seemed to have had a small area. I never had an outage at all. I wasn't one of the 64,000, thank God. So I think something happened that was a little interesting. I don't think it's quite what they're sharing for us. And hopefully it was the good guys doing it, but could have just been an F-up, too. Diddy's been taken off suicide watch, so when he kills himself now, it's going to be weird, right? Yeah. You guys know. Again, I've said this is going to be, to me, this is the canary in the coal mine for me. If Diddy makes it to trial and literally makes it through trial, and I guess that sort of surmises that he's likely still alive. They don't bring in a jar of his head and be like, no, the Diddy said, and they just shake it like, oh, Diddy just said. I'm the Diddy channeler. So we'll see. We'll see if he makes it. Again, if he does make it, Deep State doesn't have power anymore at all. If he does make it, if he gets offed, suicides himself, whatever, and there's no camera footage to show it, they still have significant power. So I guess this is my challenge to the Deep State. Are you able to get to Diddy? We'll find out. We'll see if you guys still got it, or maybe you don't. Hard to say. Chris Christopherson country music legend, which I didn't know him as, though I might have sort of kind of recognized him as it. But what I did recognize him as is the Blade star. He was in Blade. He was a country music star too. But this dude is cool as hell. Died. Yeah. He was like 88 or some shit. Yeah, 88 years old. Good number. Made it good years. Cool guy. Groovy music, I'm sure too. But yeah, lost another one. Hopefully a good guy. I don't know. Never know anymore. Never know anymore. Some of the ones that we thought were bad might be good. Some of the ones that are bad are definitely bad. It's so confusing. We're going to continue to fight the fight, guys. And I love the fact that I'm fighting it with you side by side, shoulder to shoulder. Couldn't think of a better group to be with. Love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.